Okay, so how does this get back into the ego? Well, your ego is committed to survival.
And what that means is that your ego says, right now, you're alive. So if you're hearing our voices, you're out there somewhere, your heart's beating, your brain is functioning, and you're alive. And your ego says, yes, I'm committed to keeping you alive. But it doesn't have any more space for you to thrive. It's not programmed that way. So actually, your ego is committed to something that's a medical term. It's called homeostasis.
And what homeostasis is, it's your subconscious need to keep things the same.
Because again, right now, you're alive.
So let's talk about this on a physical level, right? Your heart rate has a very narrow range in which, you survive. Your body temperature has a very narrow range. If you get too hot or too cold, you're going to die. Same with your blood pressure. These are examples of a very narrow homeostasis that our subconscious is constantly readjusting to keep our body into that space. Well, our subconscious also controls something like 90 to 98% of all of our behavior. And it likes to keep our behavior the same as well. If you think about the people in your life, most of them are pretty consistent, just like you. We can pretty much predict what you're going to do and how you're going to behave and how you're going to react, right? Because we have this subconscious homeostasis, which is really keeping us the same.
So your ego sees any change as a threat to your survival because right now it knows you're alive, and if you change anything, even if you change it for the better. So we always say all change is stressful to some degree, even good change, right? Good change can be stressful, and we want you to understand why. And the reason that we're talking about this is we said write down what's your ideal relationship, right? Well, how are you going to create that if your subconscious is saying, wait a second, that's way out of your league, right? That's not possible for you. And our ego starts to create this inner dialogue inside us that says that you don't deserve that, you can't have that, and all of these things because it wants to keep you where you are right now. And if right now you're listening to us, you don't have the love that you want. Whether you're in a relationship or not, there's something lacking, which means you're in survival and not where you're thriving.
So let's get into the heart rule. And our heart rule on this one is surviving versus thriving. And we've really been talking about this idea, right? We want to take you into the space of thriving, which is in the space of growth, the space of change, the space of expansion, the space of getting what you truly desire in your heart.
And so this isn't what you think is possible for you, right? Because that's how our ego mitigates us. It says, well, what's possible for me, right? You ever heard that saying, oh, she's out of your league, he's out of your league? Nobody's out of your league. You can have everything you ever wanted, but it's all about where your priorities are and that willingness to risk so that you can thrive.
We've all been in that relationship where we just said, well, this is good enough, right? Well, he loves me, so that's good enough, even though I'm not feeling any passion or any excitement for him.
And what we want you to know is that will last for a little while, but it won't last for a lifetime. And it certainly isn't the makings of a true soul partnership. And you're doing that other person no favor at all. If you're saying, well, you know what, he's good enough, that's not okay because they deserve to be with somebody who's as crazy about them as you know, there's a two-way street.
Yeah. And the reason this is because we always choose what is familiar versus what we truly desire. We always choose what we know love to be versus what we desire love to be.
So think about it this way. Our programming is so strong that we will always choose what's familiar to us and what reflects back that old story, right? I chose a boyfriend who beat me up because it was what I knew, even though it was not at all what I wanted. So when you let your heart rule, that old story will no longer have power over you. You'll create from that true heart's desire and not from what has been your history.
You know, and it goes back to, we've all heard this definition, right, of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That equals insanity, right? And it's really that. It's like you've been doing the same things. You've been going out and dating with the same strategies and dating in the same way over and over and over again, and you're still creating those same relationships that aren't working for you.
Do you have, and I think a lot of you could relate in this way, take it out of yourself and look at your friends. Do you have a friend that is basically dating the same guy over and over again with a different face, right? Or the same guy who's dating the same girl over and over again, but with a different face? This is what we're talking about. That this thing that is creating attraction is creating attraction for the thing that leads you down the same path with the same end result. It isn't leading you in a new direction to create from that space of thriving, elevating you to create the true soul partnership that you desire.
Okay. In our private coaching, what we do is we walk people into their blind spot so that they can step out of their comfort zone. We also give specific exercises to stretch our clients, right? Because, you know, if you just keep doing the same thing and you don't do something different in your life, then you're going to get those same results. And that's just crazy making, right? Okay, so
what we want you to do is now, this is really important. Take a look at your worksheet, right? The last exercise that we have on there says, on a scale of 1 to 10, choose a number that accurately represents how quickly you want to create this ideal relationship. Now, 10 says you want it right now.
Okay, so just take a moment, check into your heart, and go, how badly do I want this? And be honest, right?
Now, I just want to share one little quote with you, is the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. And we truly believe that that is the greatest thing of all.
Okay, so let's look at how this brings up our ego and how our ego gets in the way to block love. And it's this idea that your ego is wired for DIY, or do it yourself, right?
It's true. Your ego says, oh, you're cool, you're fine, there's nothing wrong here. You just, read another book or something, right? It doesn't want you to have that change that you desire. Now, we understand the pain of wanting love in your life. I was okay on my own, right? I wasn't someone who was always in a relationship, but I would ask myself when I was quiet, like after meditation or when my mind was really quiet, I would tap into my heart and I'd say, what do I really want? And the answer that always came was love. And I wanted the real deal. And I want to let you all know that you do not need to settle, that you can have it all. That Matthew and I have walked the walk and talked the talk, and we take our clients regularly to the place where they can receive love. We want you to know that once you go through this transformation, love comes to you so naturally and so easily, you wonder where it's been through all of these lonely years.
Okay, so that ego DIY, do it yourself, is just saying over and over again, let me read another book, let me rewrite my profile, let me change my dating strategy, right? But it's not really changing you or changing how you're being in relationship.
Or it says, you know what, maybe I just need a new outfit. Maybe I need a new wardrobe, right? How many of us have gone out and thought, oh, okay, if I just change my clothes, I'm going to get a different kind of guy. And it
maybe if I just
like
lose
that.
10 more pounds, then I'll get the guy I want.
And let's face it, you're you, and we want you to know you deserve love. It is your birthright.
Okay, so let's really look at now our promise. And what we mean by this is the promise that we're offering to you with this work, with this idea of letting your heart rule so that you can create the love you want. And the first promise is that you can stop the pain by releasing the anger, sadness, fear, guilt, and hurt from the past.
Our promise to you is that you can release your old story and step into your true, authentic self.
We also promise that you can learn to identify your core fear and develop techniques to put it behind you forever.
Our promise to you is that you can discover what you should never, ever sacrifice to be fulfilled in your relationships. And I would just want to let you know, it's the first thing we always want to give up right away, and it's the one thing we should never give up.
And our promise to you also is how you can create true intimacy with any man you choose.
Our promise to you is that you will have a vision of your true soul partnership and a plan to attract it to you.
And our final promise to you is that you will be able to bring in your beloved.
Let's face it, just like any professional goal, having love in your life takes commitment and a plan. Hope just isn't enough. We can walk you through it. The transformation happens over the phone.
Okay. So the question you want to ask yourself is, are you worth it?
Now, if you're worth it, And we hope you say yes, because we believe in you. We believe that you're worth it. So if you're on the same page as us and you wrote down, say, an 8, 9, or 10, that you want this relationship right now, sign up for a strategy session with us. You can talk to us for a half an hour. Just go to www.creatingloveonpurpose.com/private coaching. And right there, you can sign up for a strategy session with no risk to you whatsoever.
We know that you want love in your life. So let us show you how to get what you need. We're here to be your guides on that path.
And we would be truly honored to let you know how to let your heart rule so you can get the love you want.
Okay, so thank you again. Thanks for joining us on this video. I'm Matthew Walters.
I'm Orna Walters, and we're here to help you get the love you want.